All right, here we're here at week 9 Futurity finals weekend here in Manitoba. Got a big episode to go over. We got the 2020 replay. We got the elimination replays going on in this. Got some interviews with Chris Brown, Michel Rey, Trever Williams. Selection show with Michael Carter and Garnet Barnsdale, and of course myself. Got a huge episode. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to check out the comments. Got all our social media down there. Follow us there. And make sure to check out the whole video and post time, 3 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to be the Miami Fair preview show. And we'll first kick it off with the replay of the 2020 Futurity final.
Final 3-year-olds bred right here in Manitoba. Number 1, Runaway Heiress with Daryl Mason. Number 2, Zippity Zoom, Tyler Grundy in the bike. Number 3, Vern's Wish, Christopher Brown. Number 4, Munchie Chris, Mark Fillion. Number 5, Follow Your Nose, Phil Giesbrick. Number 6, Da Little Beast with Dean Ray. Number 7, Two Shoes with Michel Rey. And number 8, Get It Done Bud, Corey Manning. 6 Pacers on the gate, 2 trailers. Purse, $19,380. To find out who's the best 3-year-old from Manitoba. Past the fair start pole. And they're off in pacing. Straight to the front end. Zippity Zoom takes the front end lead. Vern's Wish is stuck out too wide. Runaway Heiress sitting in 3rd. Two Shoes is 4th. Sitting right there is Munchie Chris and 5th. Follow Your Nose is 6th, battling with Get It Done Bud. And the trailer, Da Little Beast, the favorites are near the back of the pack as they're coming to the quarter mark. Vern's Wish out too wide. 28-1. Chris Brown and Tyler Grundy battling it out at the beginning of the race here. Runaway Heiress sitting in 3rd. Two Shoes is 4th. Munchie Chris is 5th. Get It Done Bud and Da Little Beast trailing. Here comes Follow Your Nose as they're coming down the stretch for the first time. Zippity Zoom still leading the way. Vern's Wish in 2nd. 58-3 for an opening first half. Zippity Zoom with Tyler Grundy on the inside. It looks like Runaway Heiress is now 2nd. Vern's Wish is on the outside 3rd. Two Shoes is 4th. Now out 3 wide is the favorite, Follow Your Nose. And here's coming Da Little Beast too. 4 wide down the backstretch. Runaway Heiress, Follow Your Nose, Two Shoes, and Zippity Zoom as they're coming to the 3-quarter mark. 1:30-1. Follow Your Nose is now outright leading it. Runaway Heiress is in 2nd. Two Shoes is in 3rd. Zippity Zoom 4th. As they're coming down the stretch, Runaway Heiress with Daryl Mason on the inside. Follow Your Nose, Phil Giesbrick on the outside. As they're down the stretch, Follow Your Nose with a nose lead. Here comes Runaway Heiress. Follow Your Nose will hold on. Runaway Heiress, Munchie Chris for 3rd.
Just remember, post time 3 p.m. Central, Miami Fair, available on HPI Bet to watch and wager. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get everything up to date on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Next, the eliminations for 2021 Futurity.
The horses are called to the starting gate for race number 3, the elimination 1 of the Manitoba Standardbred Futurity Stakes. Number 1, Don's Night Owl with Glenn LeDrew. Number 2 is Scratched. Number 3, Chase My Dust with Michel Rey.
Number 4, Drive It Like You Stole It with Dean Ray. Number 5, Send Me a Tweet with Don Howlett. And number 6, State Your Case with George Isman. 5 3-year-olds. Top 4 will move on. Here they come. And they're off and pacing right to the front end. Drive Like You Stole It is stealing that lead. Don's Night Owl slides in second. Chase My Dust is third. Send a Tweet is fourth. And State Your Case can see them all as they're going down the backstretch. Drive Like You Stole It. 3-length lead on the favorite, Don's Night Owl. Chase My Dust sitting there right in third. Send Me a Tweet and State Your Case. Can see them all at the quarter mark. 29-4. Good opening quarter for these 3-year-olds. Drive Like You Stole It. Still with a commanding lead. Now making a move. Chase My Dust as they're coming down the stretch for the first time. Don's Night Owl now on the inside third. Send Me a Tweet. 3 lengths back and forth. And State Your Case. Chase My Dust taking over that lead. But here comes Don's Night Owl at the half mark. 59-4 opening half. Chase My Dust now is the leader. Drive Like You Stole It still in second. Don's Night Owl trying to find somewhere to go on the outside. Send Me a Tweet in fourth. And State Your Case sitting patiently in fifth. Down the backstretch they go. Chase My Dust. Don's Night Owl out too wide. Now charging at the 3-quarter mark. Drive Like You Stole It still sitting there in third. 129-2. Drive Like You Stole It's out again. There's a little bit of a misstep on Don's Night Owl. Chase My Dust with the lead. Drive Like You Stole It out too wide. Don's Night Owl trying to reposition third. Send Me a Tweet on the inside fourth. Down the stretch they come in the eliminations. Let's get a little louder, crowd. Who's going to have it on the inside? Chase My Dust. Drive Like You Stole It. Here's the elimination. Number 2 for the Manitoba Standardbred Futurity Stakes. Top 4 will move on. Number 1, Jim Strikes It Rich with George Isman. Number 2, Millie's Million with Michel Rey. Number 3, Serial Killer, Don Howlett. Number 4, Jimmy Did Done Good with Dean Ray. Number 5, Baby Badger with Kevin Hildebrandt. Number 6 is Philly, Glenn LeDrew, and your current favorite. And number 7, Mr. Dylan, Corey Manning. 6 3-year-olds up on the gate, 1 trailer. Here they come. There's a break early on number 3 as they're off and pacing right to the front end. Millie's Million. Jimmy Did Done Good slides in second. Philly charging on the outside, trying to find cover in third. Jim Strikes It Rich is fourth. They're 3 wide down at the back there. Mr. Dylan, Baby Badger. As they're going down to the opening quarter, it's Millie's Million. Jimmy Did Done Good right there in second. Philly's third. Closing the gap. The Serial Killer. 29-4. Opening quarter. Millie's Million setting that early pace. Baby Badger stuck out too wide. Now Philly making a move too as they're coming down the stretch for the first time. Giving the crowd here a little early action. It's Millie's Million and Philly battling it out early. Baby Badger's out too wide, charging up third. Jimmy Did Done Good on the inside. Jim Strikes It Rich, Serial Killer, and Mr. Dylan's trailing. 101-3. 5 in, 2 out as they're kicking it into the clubhouse turn. Millie's Million. Philly on the outside, second, and still charging up to the front. Jimmy Did Done Good third. Watch for Dean Ray. He won the first elimination. There's a break on Baby Badger near the back of the pack. Here's Serial Killer now on the outside, charging up to the front end. Jim Strikes It Rich on the inside, fifth, and Mr. Dylan's now sixth. 131-2. Millie's Million and Philly battling it out. Jimmy Did Done Good is third. Here comes Serial Killer. Jim Strikes It Rich is fifth. Mr. Dylan sixth. and Baby Badger down the stretch. Here they come. Who is it going to be? It's Philly on the outside. Millie's Million on the inside. Don't count out Serial Killer. It's going to be tight. It looks like Philly, Millie's Million, Serial Killer at the wire.
The field of 8 is set for the 2021 Futurity Finals. Up on the screen, you see them in their post position. Also coming up, stats for trainers and drivers. And right after that, we'll jump right into the interview with driver Chris Brown.
We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Yeah, it's my time, your time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
We're here, got a little interview with driver Chris Brown. He picked up his 26th career win not too long ago. He's not in part of the big race, so that's why I thought good inside here, get a clear perspective on the 8 horses going into the Futurity Finals. Chris, man, who do you think's going to win this one?
When you look at the program, it's tough. You got Trevor Williams, Glenn LeDrew. That team's just dynamite all year. Then you got Ricky Ray, Michel Rey with that mare. Like, she's showing that she's game all day. Mm-hmm. It's a tough race to pick. I went with the 4, Millie's Million, and then I went with the 7, of course, and then I have Jim Strikes It Rich. There we go. Sorry, my bad. Jim Strikes It Rich has been kind of. I had the pleasure to sit behind him last year when he was 2, when Trevor had him in Alberta, and this horse, he's got the breeding to be probably one of the best horses on the ground. He's still figuring everything out. He's still green, it looks to me, but give him a couple more weeks, and this horse will surprise you what he could do. I know our season's almost done. You got, 2 more weeks left? And it's a shame, but this horse, I have a feeling he's going on from here. He'll be something.
Well, hopefully maybe he hits the Saskatoon then, because there's also the 5 more weeks.
Yeah,
there, right?
I think Saskatoon's you're going to see a lot of different horses show up there compared to the half mile. Some horses can't travel half miles, some can. Some are better on the bigger 5/8. Some are better at nighttime than daylight.
Yeah.
It's completely different racing. I've had the privilege to race at night, and it's completely different.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. This race was tough. I was really surprised that the odds makers gave Millie's Million the 4-1 and put her as the 4th favorite. I thought she'd be the clear undecided favorite going into this one, but they give it to the 6, Jimmy Did Done Good. So I don't know what those odds makers do. Well, and not that the horse is bad. Like number 6 is fine. Any of these horses have a good shot of winning it. 8 horses, tight field. It's going to be, 4 or 5 of them probably going to have a shot coming down the stretch. But I thought Millie's Million would be the 8-5 odds favorite, not Jimmy Did Done Good.
I agree there. Jimmy Done Good. When last time Kirk drove him, Kirk gets along with this horse absolutely perfect. Like I remember the day that Glenn Drew drove this horse and he missed the gate. We all thought he was going to go on his head. And this horse closed like a freight train. Like it shows that this horse has got a tremendous amount of speed. And I understand where they could be maybe going with that one. But it's hard because I feel like Millie's Million is going to be going right to the front. You got Chase My Dust, stablemate, right there at a 2-hole. It's definitely going to allow Millie to get to the front. And just Dawn's Night Owl, I believe it's going to get away maybe 3rd, 4th. It's going to probably be first up unless Jim Strikes It Rich and tips. But I really don't see him moving too quick. I think he'll be hoping that Glenn tips out and he'll be wanting to get on his back. When it comes to the races, post time, I should say. I believe Dawn's Night Owl will probably be the favorite. Millie's Million will be second choice.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at it by program, it's tough to shy away from Millie's Million and Michel Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky's won this race before, so is Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor won it last year. I drove Trevor's entry last year in this race, and it was a privilege to be in it. And I wish everybody the best in it. It's a tough race to handicap. It's a tough race to to figure out as a driver where you're going to go, what's going to happen in it.
It's the perfect race to kick off the pick 4 for the week too, So any of these horses could win. It's not really an upset, but if a betting upset comes in, that could screw everyone's pick 4 the first race of it. Because because like you said, you picked Jim Strikes It Rich, who's one of the long shots in the program. But I was looking, his times are 2:01. It fits in with everybody. He's won before this year. And then the actual long shot, send me a tweet again, 2:03, 2:02, fits in well. So it's just going to be a shoving match to see who can get to the front end. And 8 horses, like better than anyone, you can get parked, right? So, if some of these long shot horses could give, because the favorites kind of got the outside, and Dawn's Night Owl has a tough, the 7-hole could be one of the harder holes to get into.
The nice thing about having the 7-hole, you're right up against the rails, so you're following the 1 and 2 horse. So if Daryl Mason decides, let's leave a little, let's get ahead of Jim Strikes It Rich, might open it up, leave a little bit harder, so Millie's Million has to travel a little bit harder, and might leave that big 3-hole. So then Glenn could be sitting in the top 3, coming for the path. And I'm sure that's roughly where he's thinking of pulling. He might be pulling early. You never know with Glenn when he's going to pull. I've seen him pull at the 3-quarter pole. I've seen him pull at the quarter pole. You just never know with Glenn. You can't. He's a good driver. He's having a heck of a season, 4 years off, and coming back, and he's got 25 wins this year.
At least I have.
I just got that not too long ago. My all-time wins, he's got it in 1 year, so you can't beat that. And Trevor Williams, he's been our top trainer for how long? He's having a great year. I'm lucky enough that I get to ride with him and drive some of his horses for him, and it's a privilege to just be sitting behind those kind of horses at times.
Well, that's the thing about this race. And you mentioned, then there's Ricky, who's probably one of the best trainers of all time that's been here in Manitoba, right? So this race has a lot of people going into it that have spent a lot of time in it. But while I have you here, we're also going to talk about your horses for the day. I believe you have 3 going in, and I believe your first one of the day would be in the Open, the Fillies and Mares Open.
Yep.
Farmer Strikes Fame. Is there anything you want to tell the folks about this horse? Has a pretty good season. It's got a couple of wins already. One with you. So, what about this horse that you like?
I like her. She's game. She can get off the wing. She's young. last week just didn't work out for me. I had a game plan. I thought I would execute greatly. I guess everybody else had the same game plan as me. I wanted to be up close where Hurry Home would be. If I wanted a chance to chase her down, I was kind of hoping I would have Hurry Home behind me, and I could dictate the speed a little bit more and have it my way. It didn't work out that way. So drawing the rail definitely helps me out quite a bit with her. She can get off the wings like no other horse I've seen for a while, especially in a mare side. It's nice to sit behind those. She is very, very comfy to sit behind. But I can't count out Bold and Sporty and Hurry Home in that race. Bold and Sporty has won before. Glenn LeDrew, Trevor Williams again. They're a winning combo. I believe Bold and Sporty's got most of her wins with Glenn LeDrew. So, especially being right beside me, I know she can leave as well. So, I don't know what Trevor Williams will want me to do, if he'll want me to sit back and like land up there or what. Hurry Home, she's having a year, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I kind of half tried to figure out how much she's made since she came to Manitoba, and I think I figured it out, like $5,200 she's made this year, and like that's pretty hard to do in Manitoba, to make $5,200, and she's done it the hard way. She's done it from the front, from behind, so she's a good mare.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Mason did a good job picking out this one.
Oh yeah, so this week I'm going to put up my announcer Trey rankings, and I have Sherry Mason being the third best trainer on my ranking system anyway this year, and Daryl's my fourth best driver, and it mostly because of this horse here. Most of their wins this year has come from this one, and that's one to really watch out for. It's really hard I can't think of many horses that have had perfect seasons, even just in the short 10-week season here. It's kind of hard to go pretty perfect.
I don't think I've ever heard of a horse have a perfect season ever in my entire life. I've been trying. Sorry, that was my grandmother. She had to come say hi, I guess. But I haven't. My grandpa had some fairly nice horses, and I can't think of anything that really even remotely would even go like a 5 for 5 or 6 for 6. Like, she's going on what? She's going for 5 for 5 right now, or 6 or 4 for 4, something like that.
She's five wins, 1 second since coming to Manitoba.
Yeah,
as close to perfect as you can get. The only last year's top filly, Follow Your Nose, I think was 5 for 6.
Yeah,
there, and then we had one. I can't remember its name now, but it went 5 for 5 last year with Dennis and Mark Filion. So
okay,
but again, it's pretty tough. And that horse was in the non-winners. This one's in the open, right? So
this one went through the non-winners straight to the open and still hasn't changed, even going right to the open. Like, our Fillies and Mares Open, I say our Fillies and Mares Open is probably the toughest race we have in Manitoba right now. Besides that claimer, it's going faster than the open. Like, that claimer's, you might as well rename it, just get rid of the claiming price and just rename it to the classified, because it's basically another open race.
Oh yeah, although the both opens and the claimers can definitely just sit in one race or like one category. They're all pretty interchangeable. But yeah, we're gonna move on to Glitter on the Beach. That's your first time driving this one in a race. What do you like? I think this one, you got the favorite in this one? Nope, second favorite in this race. Second choice, so you're up there. But the 2-year-old's the favorite. So what do you feel about that one? 7.
I don't even know what my races I'm in. That's bad. Of course, I got myself picked for the winning on this one. But I can't. I've never sat behind this mare, but tons of back class. I remember seeing her race years ago. When I was sitting on the sidelines, and she was good for Corey and Betty. She was really good. I want to say Dean trained her at one time. I could be wrong on this. I know Dean trained a couple horses for Betty for a little while there. I don't know if he had this one when he had false advertising or not. But this mare, she's been hovering for that win. She's just been hovering for it. And I'm hoping I can get the job done for Betty. I've known Betty for years, and she's known me since I was a little pipsqueak, watching me get in trouble all the time. So it'd be kind of nice to see me win one for Betty, that's for sure. And I can joke around with her after, because her and my grandpa are in a wreck in Botno, and my grandpa ran her over, and she keeps saying that she can still see the tire mark. So I'm hopefully I can win this. Say there, the tire mark's gone now. So I'm hoping I can get the job done for her, but I can't count out Don Yanis, 2-year-old. Like, Don Yanis always has a nice young horse program. He's great with his young horses. Like, if you see Don Yanis with a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, don't count him out of anything. Like, he's a phenomenal trainer. Like, he's probably one of our most underrated. He's driving all the way from Ontario to here every weekend to race. I think he's got probably a 6-hour drive, I want to say. Maybe 4. That's commitment. Like, so I commend him a ton to becoming. And you can't Corey's other horse he's on here, like, you can't really count that one out either. Like, bad post, but it's hovering as well. So when I was looking at it, I strongly believe I could win this one, but I can't count the chickens yet because it is a horse race, and well, I gotta first get past the 4 other horses to win. So
yeah, the 2-year-old class this year. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming if they all stay here, we're gonna have some good 3-year-olds next year, right?
Our state, like, seeing this many 2-year-olds this year, it's nice to see. You don't see it very often. You don't get to see a lot of this ever. So when you see a bunch of 2-year-olds, a bunch of younger horses this year, especially even in the 3-year-old season, and especially a lot of good 3-year-olds, it's not just one 3-year-old winning or one gelding, one filly. The fillies and geldings are competing with each other, and they are competing like they are. You can't really tell who's number one in the fillies and geldings anymore. Like, some fillies are faster than geldings, and some geldings are faster than the fillies.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. I believe our breeding programs are getting better now. We got a lot of guys that are investing some money in right now to set up our breeding. So it's nice to see. It's going into the right direction for Manitoba. That's for sure.
All right. We missed your first race, actually, the race number 3. You got Little Piece of My Heart. Yes. Very interested in this one because, again, another one where you're the 3rd favorite in the program. You got 2 Shoes, who's always been near the top, and then you got Glenn with Buck Rogers, one that you've driven and won with this year. That was your 25th win. So what do you think about this, the 3rd race here?
Well, Buck Rogers, he's probably my biggest competition, I think, in this race. He's like this mare a little bit. He come home like crazy. I was looking at the program this one. I was kind of where I drew. I was kind of thinking 4 holes generically where I like to leave from. If I ever have the 3-4 hole, I like to leave. But when I was looking at the program and kind of trying to decide what I might be doing, it's hard to say because it doesn't look like she looks like she's game, but she doesn't have the initial quick speed like I like to have when leaving. So I don't know. She's a closer, but so is Buck Rogers. So I feel like I'm going to be giving Buck Rogers potentially the perfect toe around. It's going to suck for me because I know that horse can close like a freight train. The day I won with him, he was on the outside for at least 5/8 mile of the track, and he was still game his end. And like that horse is good. He's a nice little young horse. Once again, the whole campaign of the Williams stable there, they've done a good job keeping him right. He's kind of quirky to drive. He can kind of get a little rough on you, but they figured him out. Little Piece of My Heart. When Trevor got her, when I first saw her, I was like, this is a racehorse. What? And now I look at her, it's like, is this even the same one? Like, holy crap. Within 3 weeks, she's a completely different mare. I do believe you look at this race, everybody's going roughly at the same time, 2-1, 2-2, coming home 31-30. So it's probably going to be around that kind of time. But 2 Shoes as well, top 3 every week. He's a tough one to beat. Actually, I got him picked for 3rd. 2 Shoes used to be a huge leader last year, and he settled down quite a bit. I don't know what they've done, but he looks like he's a lot more manageable and a lot better to sit behind. So that could be a big difference right there. They wake him up a little bit. I believe he could be whacking out this mile. I also think he's so classy. Whacked it out last weekend. Just didn't get a little bit. He had to go pretty hard that whole mile. He wasn't slowing down that whole mile. I had Rusty's flying in that race actually, and he looked pretty good. I know he's a handful behind the gates, so I don't think I'll be contesting with that one too much. I sound outside last week, and I don't want to do that again. It wasn't fun.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, that's perfect. Thank you, Chris, for your time and your insight on the Futurity in your 3 races. Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
And good seeing you. Hopefully see you on Saturday.
For sure. See you later.
All right. I want to thank Chris Brown again for his time and his insights on the Futurity and the few races that he's in on the day. And again, just a quick reminder, post time, 3 p.m. Central this Saturday. Watch and wager, hpibet.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and check out all our social media. Up next, Michel Rey, who takes over Millie's Million in the Futurity. Awesome. Now I'm here with Michel Rey, or most people know him as Mitch, I guess, right?
Yeah.
In the program, Michel Rey. I have him. I'm going to come out with my own rankings this week of my personal, and you were number 2 driver this year in my rankings. So, good job on having a good year, I think, and we can keep it going. But I want to talk to you about Millie's Million going into the Futurity. Have you seen the odds yet?
Yeah, she's I guess 4th on the board, 4-1.
What do you think about that? I think you guys got hosed.
Well, she was off last week, and some of those horses had a good start, right? So Jimmy did done good, paced a good mile, and I think the other one was Dawn's Night Owl and Drive It Like You Stole It. So it's a big field of anyone can get it in there. I think there's a solid group of 3-year-olds. So we'll try and be sleeper this week.
Awesome. So how's I guess it's only Wednesday or Tuesday, but how's that training? How's training been going for this week?
Good. Yeah, no, Millie's been good. So we had the week off last week, and she's been tight all week, and looking for good things.
Awesome. So like you said, in a field of 8, how does the 4 position sound to you going into this one?
Pretty good. Middle of the gate. So being on the rail is sometimes a little tight on the fair track here. So being in the middle of the gate's good. Definitely trailing is something where you can't use your own discretion, right? As a driver, you got to watch what the other guys do in front of you. But again, it's a horse race. So off the gate, we'll see what happens. But being in the middle of the gate definitely is a bit of an advantage. It'd be nicer to be closer to the rail, but at least we're in the middle of the gate. So
awesome. So you mentioned a couple of them, but who do you think might be your biggest competition going into this one?
I think they're a solid pack. So I think Drive It Like You Stole It, winning his heat. Dawn's Night Owl has been pacing some good miles. Dad's other entry, Chase My Dust, he's come from the west, and he's a good horse, and he's got some fast miles under his belt. Jimmy did done good, raced well. Even Jim Strikes It Rich on the rail could be a player. Serial Killer raced well last week. So there are a bunch of good horses. I think there's 5 or 6 of them in there that could get the job done with the right trip. Mm-hmm. And again, I think trip is what's going to make this race.
Yeah, looking at this one, I think all 8 have a good shot at it.
Well, that's right.
On how the race goes, and especially with Philly not being in it, I still think if Philly was there, I think Millie's Million has a really good shot at it. So it's a wide open race. What else was I going to say? Is there another horse throughout the day that maybe you got an inside tip on, or one that you're really looking forward to race?
2 Shoes. So I just have the 4 drives. I guess I got Great Quote from Melly's old horse, my sister's old horse. He's a good campaigner, but that's a tough knock in claimer group. So old Rexy gives it his go every week. But 2 Shoes again. I think with the 2-hole, we've got a inside post. He's been racing well, and I think we've got 2 of Williams trainees in there that we've got to try and beat to the post, I guess. But we've got a good post on that one. And then Dad's other horse, Promise Me a Win. He wasn't eligible to the Futurity, unfortunately. Wasn't paid up as a baby, but he's one of them too, that if he was in the Futurity, he'd be right up there. Big gelding, hard closing. Last week we tripped him out and got up there for third. So he'll be tight this week. And with the rail, we've got some good things, I think, with Promise Me a Win. I think Trevor's got an Invader coming from, I don't know if it's from Ontario, so that one might be a little bit tough, but Promise Me a Win, just make sure he's on your ticket, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, he's got Passion and Pearls coming out from Georgia and Woodbine there. That's, it's always tough to know when those horses come off of there because their times look a little, they're all over the place, but then they come on the half-mile track and it could be anything. Right? So
57 out there is, right in the thick of it with these ones here, I think. So the track has been a little bit, I think it was a little faster early on, but I think, if the track is good, that Futurity mile should be in and around 2 minutes, I would think. Again, depends on the fraction and how the race goes, but we're looking for some good things in the Futurity, and then I think Promise Me a Win is setting up well, and so will Two Shoes for my drives anyhow.
Awesome. I could look back, but have you won the Futurity very often?
2 for sure. So we won it with Raising a Rocket in 2017. Actually, Dad swept it that year. He got first with Raising a Rocket and second with Quarter to Noon. And actually Raising a Rocket just won here at Woodbine in 52-2 for her lifetime mark. So she's still rolling along. So and then we won it with Digging a Trench, I think in 2015 or something like that.
I got up here, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Dad's won it a host of times, but myself, I think twice. Perfect. And both those times were one heat. So we didn't have any eliminations. So I think they were just going for the whole jackpot then.
Right. What's your thoughts? I've noticed we have a lot of good 2-year-olds, this year. What's your thoughts about, next year and how that could shake up?
No, I think, the 2-year-old crop was really well. It is really good. We had a few, we shut ours down. She showed some promise, but I think, you got AK up and Adam. Mark's got 2 good, Follow Girl. And I always forget the other one's name, but
Sassy Libby.
Yeah, Sassy Libby. So those are 2 good looking 2-year-olds there. I think they're both fillies, but I think again, most guys are training them down. Some got them in 240, some are just shutting them down now. So it's nice to get that under your belt. I know with Millie's Million last year, we did have Philly and Millie's Million and Promise Me a Win as 2-year-olds at our farm here. We trained them all down, and Millie was the only one we kept going with. We shut the other 2 down, but it is nice to get them behind the gate as 2-year-olds and get some advantage. I think as a 3-year-old, they come in a little bit, they're ready to go, but some of those sleepers that you don't see this year will come as 3-year-olds and just be ready to go. Right. So again, there is some good promise. I think this is one of the first years we've had that many 2-year-olds go right off the hop. Usually we get, 2 or 3. I think last year we just had 2, right? Yeah. So, this year in the kindergarten, I think it was 6 or 7 horses in it. So I think it is nice to get the 2-year-olds and show that, the program is working, and we're looking for some big things if we can get, some more race dates going.
Yeah. Are you heading to Saskatoon or?
We're still undecided yet. We just have those, we just got the young, we just have 2 3-year-olds, Chase My Dust for however long. He's going to stick around. We're not sure there. And Melanie's old horse, I think we'll shut him down. So with the farm, we've got lots of cows here to fool around with. So fall might be busy, but if we can, we'll definitely get down there.
Awesome. And what's your thoughts on Winnipeg next year, potentially?
Really, I don't know. There's not even a word to put it. So I've never been, like when I was a kid, we raced at the Downs a little bit. I don't really remember it. I think 95 was when we shut it down. So I was only 7 years old, but it's something that we're looking forward to. That's for sure. I can't wait to get back on an oval that's, in a bigger setting. I think, get us growing to where we need to be, 10 fair dates in the summer. We put a lot of work into this. People don't realize that, we start in January, February, we break colts in the fall, and it's a long haul for, 10 race days to get these horses going. So to get an extended meet is definitely something that will help us. And I think, Nope, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, here we go.
A little bit of a freeze.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you got there, but.
I just got enough.
Awesome. Okay, good.
Because I've already talked to Chris, and he's picking Millie's, and I'm picking Millie. So I'm talking to Trevor tomorrow. So I'm really wondering what he's gonna pick because he's got his own, right? But
I think it's hard to pick. Like of course, being the one I'm driving, I'm going to pick her, but there is, it's a solid group of 3-year-olds, and you could put a blanket over them at the finish. I hope we're on the front end of it anyway.
Awesome.
She has raced well. She's only lost to Philly and Hurry Home this year, which are, two of the best mares or fillies in this neck of the woods. So I think, Millie has some upside to her, but yeah, it's a good field.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for your time, man. And
no problem.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Trey. Have a good one, buddy.
Make sure to follow Manitoba Harness Racing on all their social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Find their handles down in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get all replays and live streams for Manitoba Harness Racing. And now coming up next, Trevor Williams and he talking about his horse, Don's Night Owl, in the Futurity. Now I got my interview with top trainer right now on Miami, Trevor Williams. He's got the 7 Don's Night Owl in the Futurity. How do you feel about your chances going into this one?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know what to feel with this colt. He kind of throws a different race out every single week, so hopes are always high, but never too high for sure. I think if the trip works out for him and he behaves himself, he definitely shows he can be tough in there. But he's definitely a hard one to rely on.
Yeah, I was wondering because whoever makes these morning light odds, I was quite surprised. I thought Ricky's Millions Million would be the favorite, but they have the 6 Jimmy Did Done Good. What are your thoughts on the odds, or do you ever pay attention to those?
I do, yeah. I'm not sure how much to read into them. I think a lot of them, they seem to be based on the previous week's races instead of, an amalgamation of all of their races. Millie's definitely should be the filly to beat. I think with Philly not being in the final, it opens it up quite a bit, but she's still, proven to beat the 3-year-olds more so than the other ones. So yeah, she should be favorite. I think, I don't have a program in front of me actually, but I think Jimmy Did Done Good was the fastest last week, potentially went 1 mile in 2 minutes, something like that. Yeah. So that could be why the morning line odds have him as favorite, but I mean, he definitely has a shot.
So you got the 7 hole. How do you feel about that? You get the rail, but your second tier, what do you think that's going to be like in a half-mile track?
Normally I'd be upset. I like to be on the gate. As you're aware, I like to be on the front end, or at least a little bit close. So I'd be upset, but with this horse, it's a little bit different. He's a horse that you can't really spring off the gate anyway. So, being spotted up in 4th or 5th or something like that is probably going to be the trip he needs anyways. So just follow off on the gate. I think the 2 horse has a little bit of speed, Chase My Dust. And I think, Millie's Million's going to be leaving out of there hard. So there might be a bit of a duel going on with the Ray horses drawing 5 and 6. I mean, they're not going to want to get away last either. They're going to need to be at least have one of them positioned close. So I don't think the trailing position is actually the worst spot in this case.
Yeah, and you got a horse, Jim Strikes It Rich, to follow out. Is there any do you think that's a horse that's going to cause you any problems at the beginning, or not really?
Hard to say. I know the colt does have a little bit of trouble in the turns. Jim Strikes It Rich. It's a fast horse though, so I think it will want to get spotted close too. I don't think it's going to be cutting the mile by any means, but I don't think we're going to be left, 5 or 10 lengths out of it, or at least I hope not. There's also the option if he has given us trouble that we can follow up the 2 as well. In this case, the 8 horse has to follow up the 3 or the 4. So a little bit of options for Glenn, but I would assume he'll just plant himself on George's helmet and hope for the best.
Yeah, speaking of Glenn, we got 8 guys in here who I'm assuming most have won, if not all, this in the past. They're very big races like this. So what kind of confidence do you have in Glenn going into a race like this, as he's the number 1 driver?
Yeah, no, it's good to have Glenn on. I mean, we talk about pretty much every race before we go out there, but he's already studied the program all week and, has a pretty good idea of all the horses and different scenarios that he has playing out in his mind. So there's not a whole lot we have to tell him. It's just, the horse trained good this week. Good. We'll give it a shot. And, he's done a really good job. So he's got to drive this horse, 3-4 weeks in a row now. Got to get to know him and his quirks, and, hopefully that plays out in the last 2 weeks here in Futurity and then the Golden Boy final.
Awesome. So that's basically all I have for the Futurity, but maybe a couple notes on your other horses going on the day. I noticed you have a new one in this week, Passion and Pearls. What do you like about that horse, and how do you feel it's going to make in its Miami debut?
Yeah, so she's fairly new. She came to our care a couple weeks ago. Arel Voden bought her out of Ontario. He actually already owns the dam. Perfume and Pearls, I believe, is her name. So when this mare came available, he jumped on her because he already knows the breeding and likes the breeding. She has a little bit of gray in her. You'll notice her out there. She's got a gray tail, a bit of a grayish face. So she's a pretty mare, that's for sure. She definitely has some quirks as well, much like Don's Night Owl. So we'll see how she gets around the half-mile turns. It's a little bit tougher here. She is a big mare, but no, she's definitely got a shot. I think she'll be all right.
Yeah, again, and that's number 2 in race number 9. But are you finally going to make your first driving start this week?
I am. I had to change it up last week, so I wanted to drive Rusty really bad. She's a tough mare to drive, as you can see. She gets a little bit quirky on the gate and into the turns a little bit. So I really wanted to give her a steer, but I owned Buck Rogers in the race. So for conflict of interest purposes, I couldn't switch. And I wanted to leave Glenn on Rogers. So we gave Chris a drive last week, and he did good, keeping her flat, getting her around there. So yes, she's been by herself this week, and we'll give it a whirl.
Awesome. And is there any other horses this week that you got that you maybe want to put some notes on? Because I know you got a few throughout the day.
Yeah, we have quite a busy day. I think we have 9 in. We're doubled up in a few of them. Obviously I like Buck Rogers every week. He's a really tough horse, one of my favorites. And then, the old boys, Liz Placed and Read the Proposal, kind of always going to give you a good shot. They're great off the gate, and they're tough horses. So yeah.
Awesome.
Looking for.
Perfect. Yeah, you're going to go for back-to-back Futurity finals. So best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank Michel Rey and Trever Williams again for their insights in the Futurity finals and everything else going on in the day. But coming up now is the selections with Michael Carter and Garnet Barnsdale. But don't forget, post time, 3 p.m. Saturday. Watch and wager on hpibet.com. All right, we got the selection part of our show here. Week 9, Miami Fair, Futurity weekend. We got Garnet Barnsdale and Michael Carter. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Perfect.
Thanks, Trey.
We're going to go to the first race, start of our early daily double, non-winners of a race. Manitoba allowed 1. Garnet, why don't you kick us off with your top 3?
Yeah, I think the top pick for me is pretty obvious. Number 5, Al's Dragon Jack. Just looks like the fastest horse. Really comes out of a really fast race for this class, 2 minutes and 1. Was well beaten, but his 2:02 and 2 mark is still much the fastest in here. And 2 races back, you see he dominated at this class. So the second one the horse I'm going to pick for second is the one Beyond the Budget. Comes off a nice win. It's a 2-year-old, but I think drawing the rail could probably trip out behind the 5. And the horse I picked for third was number 2, George M. I think, George M maybe has a good chance as a 2-year-old to improve in here a little bit. So I got to go with the 3-year-old on top, Al's Dragon Jack.
Awesome. Perfect. Michael, what about you in race number 1?
I think Garnet copied part of my ticket here. I also used the 5 on top. Don Howlett picks up the reins on 5. Al's Dragon Jack was a winner 2 starts back. Get this, by 19 3/4 lengths. So absolutely dominated him with Howlett in the sulky. The only difference, I went with the 4 Baby Badger for third. I'm going to chalk out to the opening trifecta in the first race. Pretty consistent filly. She leads from post number 4. She's got a little bit of speed, but she could also close from off the pace. So we'll go 5-1-4 for me in the opener.
Sorry, 5-1-4. Perfect. Yeah. Me and Michael's the exact same. I took Al's Dragon Jack, kind of hard to ignore that 19 length win. And then I took Beyond the Budget for second, followed by Baby Badger. Can't really add much more to you guys. So race number 2 to end off the early daily double is our Claimer. It's probably one of our more exciting races of the day. Michael, why don't we start with you this time?
Yeah, field of 5 going post for it. I'm going to go with the 5-5 daily double. We'll kick things off with the 5, Marv the Rat. And this was a horse last year that I didn't pick, and Garnet gave me a bunch of crap for. I believe he won in that effort. But Corey Manning trains and drives this gelding. Can close from off the pace. He's got a little bit of speed. There's speed to his inside, so I don't really see him leaving here. I think he'll kind of take back maybe off the pace a little bit and try to fire from behind. For second, we'll go with the potential favorite here, the 2 list placed. It's coming off a victory against lower level claimers right here at Miami Fair last time out. And for third, go with the always consistent Red Star Tiger. So I'm going to go 5-2-4 in the second.
Awesome. Sounds good. What about you, Garnet?
Yeah, I think Mike's got it wrong. I think the two Liz Place easily handled Marv last time, and they got similar post positions. So I don't see what can change to give Marv the Rat an advantage here. I'm actually going to try. So I got 2 Liz placed on top. I'm going to try and beat him out of the exactor by using one Next Thing Smokin', who was first over last week from the 2-hole. I think this has a very good chance of running 2-1 all the way from start to finish. And I took my friend Marv for third. So 2-1-5.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with Garnet with Liz Place. Really hard to go against Trevor Williams at this track and Glenn LeDrew. And for second, I went Red Star Tiger and then Marv the Rat to finish out my triactor. So perfect. Race number 3, non-winners of 4, filly mares 5. Garnet, who do you like in race 3?
Geez, I hate to keep picking favorites, but how do you pick against Buck Rogers when the driver's got 25 wins and 42 starts? And, Buck has pretty, on paper, the best race, the best last race. So I got to go with 3 Buck Rogers on top. I use the 4 little piece of my heart. That would be a Trevor Williams exactor if that one could come second. Comes off a nice first over win. Probably the biggest challenger maybe to the 3. And the horse I use for third is number 2 Shoes. Very consistent 4-year-old. So I got 3-4-2 in this race.
Awesome. Michael, what about you in race 3?
Interesting here. Garnet and I just flipped 2 numbers. I'm going to go 3-2-4. Big note on Buck Rogers, 60% in the win column. It's hard to kind of go against, Drew in this race. It's coming off a very nice win where he had to close from off the pace. And he won really, really easily. I just overtook the leader. So we'll go 3-2-4 in race 3.
Awesome. Yeah, I had the exact same as Michael. Really not much else to add. Trevor's got a good chance of getting the exactor, but I think 2 Shoes might sneak in. Race number 4, fillies and mares open. Michael, who do you like in this one?
This was a really interesting race on paper anyway, but I'm going to get the 5 Hurry Home and kind of chalk out here as won 5 of her last 6 starts. 2 of her last 3 against Filly Mare Open Company, has been putting up some pretty big speed figures. If you're looking at the Trackmaster program, and the par is 70 and she's been 71 or higher in every start. So I think the 5 Hurry Home is my top selection. The 3 A Cowboy's Dream for second has been kind of playing second fiddle here lately with the second and third place performances. And then the 2 Bold and 40, if she can ever get a clean trip. She was interfered with in her last start and then made a break before that. So if she could ever get a clean trip, who knows, maybe she could sneak in there. So I went 5-3-2 in race 4.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds really good. Garnet, what about you in race 4?
Pretty interesting race because if you look at the 1, 3, and 5, in last week's race, Farmer Strikes Fame and A Cowboy's Dream got in an early brouhaha, as Vance Cameron would say. And Hurry Home just kind of sat there, let the dust settle, took the pocket trip into the stretch and pulled away. So I got to go with Hurry Home again. I think any way this race shakes out, Daryl Mason is going to either go for the front, make it, and lead all the way, or kind of let the action develop in front of him again and probably with a similar result. I used the 1 for second, Farmer Strikes Fame. I think the post position changes between her and the 3, and I'm just trying to hope maybe get some value there for second, and I used the 3 Cowboys Dream third, 5-1-3.
Awesome, Garnet. Yeah, I have similar thinking as you. I did take Hurry Home. Only difference was I took Bold and Sporty for second, but Farmer Strikes Fame, I think the post position. And like you said, there should be no brouhaha in this one with Chris getting the inside this time. Race number 5, it's the Futurity Finals. But before we really get into it, how about Michael, you just give a quick, what your pick 4 selection is going to be?
Yeah, so the Futurity final is we're going to talk about it here in a couple of minutes. It is the toughest race probably on the program.
Agreed.
So I went all in race number 5. We'll use all 8 of them with 1-6 in race 6, and then I'm going to end my pick 4 with 2 singles. We'll single the 1 in race 7 and the 2 in race 8. So it's all with 1-6, with 1, with 2. It's a $16 play for $1.
Awesome. And what about you, Garnet?
Yeah, I agree that this is a very tough race. I'm playing to beat the morning line chalk. I have no idea how Jimmy done good is 8-5 in the morning line from the 6 hole. I don't know what makes him the favorite. I'm going to try and beat him. So in this race, I used 3 horses, the 3, 4, and 5, Serial Killer, Millie's Million, and Drive Like You Stole It. Then I went to 2, 4, 6 with 1 with 2, 3. So that's an $18 ticket. 3, 4, 5 with 2, 4, 6 with 1 with 2, 3.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I had to scratch my head when I saw the morning line odds. I've asked everyone what they think about it, and I have gotten no clear answers. So I want to know who makes these odds, because I'm going to go. I too am going to go 3, 4, 5 in the Futurity. In the 6th race, I'm going to go 1, 4, race 7, 1, 3, race 8, 1, 2, 3. I didn't do my math. I'll have to do my math again, but I have 3, 4, 5 with 1, 4 with 1, 3 with 1, 2, 3.
$36.
That's what it is. Okay.
36.
Yes, sir.
36.
Yeah, $36.
Perfect. I'm an English major. I don't know math.
Me either, but I can compute a horse racing ticket in 1 second.
Awesome. So you know what? Let's kick it off with I can't remember who we started off with last time. Michael, just get us into the Futurity here.
Yeah, so I'm not using the morning line favorite in my top 3 selections. I think this is a wide open affair. Like I said before, I'm going to use the all button in the pick 4, and I'm going to kick things off with the 4 Millie's Million, who's coming off 2 straight victories. Now, graded, she got the perfect trip in her last start, kind of a prep for this race. Wasn't overly impressed with her speed figure, only 58 when the Trackmaster figure is 62, and so only 4 points off, but still wasn't overly impressed with that effort. For second, we'll go with the 7 Dawn's Night Owl from the outside. Made a break, and how about that effort? Come back to finish second, only beating the neck to my top selection, Millie's Million. And then we'll go with number 5, Drive Like Us.
Drive Like You Stole It.
Drive Like You Stole
That was
It.
good.
Wow. Here we go. And then
Took me a
also
couple
trying to
tries when I
pronounce the
first
name.
read it. That's good.
But is coming off 2 straight second place efforts. Has a couple of wins here at Manitoba. In fact, won a division of the Futurity 4 starts back. So I'm going to go 4, 7, 5. But like I said, it's a very tough race, and I'm going to push the all button in the pick 4.
Awesome. Garnet, who do you like in this one?
Well, I got to go with the 5, Drive Like You Stole It, because he comes out of the toughest race, I think. I think he's probably unlucky to lose to Buck Rogers last time. So Drive Like You Stole It's my top pick. Second, the 4 Millie's Million, pretty hard to, even though she's a filly going against Colts and Geldings, man, her form is just too hard to ignore in here, or too good to ignore, I mean. And the 3 Serial Killer, because Serial Killer made up a lot of ground and has a great name.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take Millie's Million. That's the one I think should be the morning line favorite going into this one. The real horse that's only beat her all year was a horse named Philly was eligible for this, but is no longer in Manitoba. So gets bumped out of this one. And for second, I'm going to go with Drive Like You Stole It. And for third, like Serial Killer. This horse is actually, I felt pretty good about this horse all year. Almost won the Golden Boy a few weeks back, but broke down the stretch. And that's when Daryl Thiessen took over and stole the show here in Miami. So I got 4, 5, 3. Race number 6, Garnet. Who do you like in this one?
Look, Rusty's flying's in the race. She's won 106 races going against 5 2-time winners. How do you not like her? I don't even care what her forms looks like. If she comes out with 2.5 legs, she's going to beat these horses. For second, I go with the 2 Zippity Zoom. I think Zippity's been second several times, 4 of the last 6. So I think definitely one there to use for the exactor. And the third one I like is Colonel Kelly. Comes off a nice win in fast time. So 4, 2, 6. But if old Rusty's feeling like herself, they're racing for second.
Yes, and Michael, do you agree with that, or what do you got in this one?
Well, so we were talking about a serial killer, and we forgot to mention that Garnet's a serial killer. So, and by
Yes,
cereal, I mean the food. By
Cheerios.
cereal, I mean the food. Yeah, but we'll go with the 6, Colonel Kelly, to kick things off. Two really nice efforts. It's coming off a pocket sitting trip last time out for Clayton Braybrook, who is also the conditioner. For second, we'll go with the 1, A Key Up and Adam. Made a break in his last start, but boy, did he have something left in the tank even after being parked in the mile. Was beaten 10 lengths, but still managed to hold strong for third. And then for third, we'll go with the 2, Zippity Zoom. I'm going to leave old Rusty's Flying out, but you know what? I might have to reconsider my pick 4 ticket here with Rusty's Flying. But we're going to go 6-1-2 in race number 6.
Yeah, I like Rusty's Flying. If you notice, she did a qualifier here with Trevor in the bike and did it 2 minutes flat, which is pretty quick here. Yeah, she's had a couple bad starts. My understanding is Trevor's the only driver that actually seems to know how to get her going here in Miami. And he told me he's going to actually start and not change again this week. So I'm going to go with Rusty's Flying for first. For second, I like the Inside Rail, AK Up and Adam. And for third, I'm going to go with Zippity Zoom. For race number 7, the fillies and mares non-winners of a race in 2020 or 2021, also eligible 2-year-olds. Michael, who do you like in this one?
Just because I know he's watching, you should never trust what Trevor Williams says. That's all I'm saying. Just don't ever trust Trevor. We love you, Trevor. Don't worry. But we're going to kick things off with the 1, Bits and Bytes. Daryl Mason will pick up the drive once again here. Is coming off a nice second place effort, only beaten 3/4 of a length. Was second in the kindergarten event right here at Miami as well. For second, we'll go with the 5, My Oh My, Look at Me Fly. See, I got one that was squished together, and wasn't really good last time out, but 2 starts back, Corey Manning was able to guide this mare to a nice third place effort. There isn't a whole lot of speed in the race. I think My Oh My, Look at Me Fly could get into a good early position, maybe try to leave from the outside, so we'll see what happens there. And then for third, we'll go with the 3, Glitter on the Beach.
Perfect. Garnet, what do you like in race number 7?
I think the 2-year-old filly Bits and Bites from the rail should dominate this race based on just looking at the program. So she was a single, my only single in the pick 4. Second one I went to is Glitter on the Beach. Number 4 comes off a couple of even efforts. Could get a pocket trip behind the 1. And the third one I used was Irish Jean. She only had 1 start. She was making up ground when she broke, and she managed to hold 4th position. So maybe she can get a piece of it. I went 1-3-4.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with both of you. I take the 1, Bits and Bites in the rail. Hard to go against that one. For second, I went with Glitter on the Beach as well. Chris Brown in the bike this week. And to round out mine, I went with the 5, My Oh My, Look at Me Fly. Like Michael said, not the greatest time last week out, but before that was a little bit more consistent. Race number 8, Horse and Geldings Open. Garnet, who do you like in this one?
Reed the Proposal is going to be awfully tough to beat in here, isn't he? Comes off a win, two wins in the Open. He's going to be the pace setter from the 2-hole. He's the one to catch. The horse I'm going to take for second is my favorite name at Miami, Appoggiatura, number 3. Appoggiatura raced great last week, first over, and kept coming against Reed the Proposal. So if anybody knocks him off, it's probably going to be him. And then I went with Senga Savannah for third, probably because he's just going to sit a 3-hole or 2-hole the whole race and get a piece of it. 2-3-1.
Perfect. Mike, what about you in the Horse and Geldings Open?
So I stayed away from Appoggiatura because I couldn't say the horse's name, but we're going to go with the 2, Read the Proposal, just like Garnet. This is another one of my singles here, coming off 2 straight wins in the Open. I used the 5, Don't Rock the Boat, for a second, partially because Garnet and I are married and we don't like to rock the boat. So, if my wife gives me a dirty look, but came closing from off the pace last time out with Don Howlett in the sulky. That race 2 starts back was really, really nice. Really had a decent amount of ground to make up. And one thing about Miami, speed carries there. And so you're not really going to make up a whole lot of ground in a whole lot of time. So, it's hard to kind of ignore that. We'll go with the 1, Senga Savannah for third. 2-5-1, and Appoggiatura will probably beat me, but who knows?
Awesome. Yeah, really hard to go against Read the Proposal. keeps winning this race, and if it doesn't win, it's always near the top. For second, I went with the rail. Sanga Savannah upset this race a few weeks ago and still kind of kicks around the front end, and I think the rail might help him out this time. And for third, I'm the announcer, and I have a tough time with this one. A Pug Yatura for third to round out my race 8. Race 9, non-winners 2, fillies and mares 3, and also eligible some mares in there. Michael, who do you like in this one?
So this was a really interesting race to me. I landed on the chalk, 3 Nellies on the money, coming off a nice victory last time out. But for second, I used the 1 Promise Me a Win. Get the, Trackmaster's a little weird. It says a little bit of Clash Relief, but it's facing the same class that he has been facing here recently. Comes off a 3rd place ever, but I think that the rail draw will make him a little bit more competitive. And for the show spot, we'll go with the 4, State Your Case. So I'm going to go 3-1-4, a little pie for the math wizards out there in race 9.
Awesome. Garnet, who do you like in race 9?
I love the rail horse. I think he's been racing against much better horses every week. You see Buck Rogers, Millie's Million in there, Drive It Like He Stole It. Last time he had the rail, he was a comfortable winner. I think this is one of my probably best bets of the day is Promise Me a Win. I use Nelly's on the money for second. Yes, comes off a nice win. I don't think he beat much. I very confident that the 1 could beat this horse. And the third one I'm using is State Your Case, the 4, who's got some speed and probably going to be in the top 3 early and stick around for a share.
Awesome. Perfect. I went on a little bit of a hunch on this one. I'm going to go with the new addition to the Williams barn, number 2. Been racing down in Southern Ontario, joins the best barn in Manitoba, joins the best driver here in Manitoba. So just going on a little bit of a hunch that maybe a rel vote in Trevor Williams and Glenn see something in this horse to pick it up. And then for second, I'm going to go with 4, State Your Case. Like Garnet said, it's got some speed, got the win a couple of weeks ago. And then I'm going to take the rail horse, Promise Me a Win, to round out my triactor. Race number 10, our finale. We got through it. Non-winners. Manitoba's allowed 1. Garnet, who do you like in our finale?
Get It Done, Bud. I like his last 3-4. He was much better last week after getting beat by 40 lengths, 2 races in a row. So maybe whatever was wrong with Get It Done, Bud, somebody figured it out, I think. So I took him on top. Second one I'm using is Winds of Winter, mostly because the horse is the rail, and there's not much form in this race. So in a 5-horse race, you got to use the rail horse. And the third one I use is Inside Jokes. Got it showing a little bit of speed in its last 2 starts. Probably get positioned early and hang around to take a slice.
Awesome. Perfect. And what about you, Michael?
I actually went with the 4 and 1 as well. I used the 5 Breeze By for third. Gets a little bit of Clash Relief coming into this race after being beaten by 22 3/4 lengths. And by Clash Relief, I mean by facing a little bit easier company. Some of those winners got to move up last week. So we'll use the 5 Breeze By for third, but I'll go with 4-1-5, 4 Get It Done, Bud. Clearly, they figured out whatever was wrong in the last 2 starts prior to his most recent effort.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, I'm still a little skeptical on the number 4. So I took number 3, Inside Joke. I just have I don't know why, just when I looked at this race, Breeze By and Jay's D Scooter for me are not really going to be huge factors. And I think it's going to be between Get It Done, Bud and Inside Joke. And then I took the 2-year-old on the inside to round out my triactor. Awesome. There we go. We got through all 10 races for Futurity weekend. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me.
Oh.
Hey, no problem.
Perfect. And best of luck to everyone watching.
Yeah, good luck and have a good day.
Make some money.
Oh, yeah.